Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to be here today to share with you the influence of non-schematic conducting method in chorus conducting on the sound and emotion of the chorus, a mixed research based on digital audio analysis and questionnaires. I'm Cheng Jinjiang, the main speaker today. I will elaborate on this from the following 8 aspects. First of all, the first point is the research question and the background. The core content of this research is, compared with the traditional schematic conducting method, how does the non-schematic conducting method affect the sound precision, intonation, rhythm, dynamic balance, and the depth of emotional expression of the chorus? What differences will this influence present in different voice combinations such as mixed voice and same voice choruses and work styles, classical and modern choral pieces? This project has the following significance. 1. Academic significance. Fill the gap in the research of conducting methodology. Expand the methodology of music performance research. 2. Practical significance. Guide innovation on conducting, teaching, and rehearsal. Improve the artistic quality of choral performances. Regarding the research background, as the core link of music performance, the methodology of chorus conducting directly affects the collaborative effect and artistic expression of the chorus. The traditional schematic conducting methods such as the standard downing note up schematic for 4/4 time signature has long dominated the mainstream teaching and practice system by standardizing rhythm, intonation, and dynamic balance through standardized body language. However, with the pursuit of personalized expression in modern music creation, the non-schematic conducting method has gradually emerged. This method abandons fixed schematics and relies on improvised body language, eye contact, musical intuition, and nonverbal symbols such as facial expressions and body rhythms to guide the chorus, which is especially suitable for modernist works, small choruses, or improvisational interaction scenarios. 1. Lack of systematic research on the non-schematic conducting method. 2. Weak research on the two-dimensional correlation between sound and emotion. 3. Lagging application of mixed research methods. 4. Gap in the differential research of voice combinations and work styles. 5. Limitations from regional and cultural perspective. The following is a literature review and relevance. The references I selected can be roughly divided into 3 categories. 1. Conducting behavior and observer perception. Among them, Napos's JETL 2021 mainly talked about college students' perception and gesture and found that the two jointly affect the evaluation of ensemble expressiveness. Expression more affects emotional transmission and gesture more affects technical clarity. 2. Conducting effect and performance. Lab JR 1993 mainly talked about the comparison of the impact of expressive conducting rich gestures and expressions and non-expressive conducting only bases it on high school and college performances. and found that expressive conductance significantly improved the judges' evaluation and students' positive feedback. 3. Interdisciplinary research and historical perspective on conducting. Dannenberg, R.B. et.al. 2010 mainly talked about combining sensor technology with interviews to analyze the relationship between the dynamic amplitude of conductors' gestures and musical dynamics, revealing the contextual dependence and multimodal collaborative nature of gestures in real rehearsals. Theoretical and methodological support. Creswell's 2018 research design work directly provides a methodological framework for the mixed research digital audio analysis plus questionnaires. Springer et.al. S. 2023 experiment on the perception of observers towards conducting without sheet music provides a comparative idea for the evaluation of the non-schematic conducting method. The quantitative research on the nonverbal behaviors, eye contact, facial expressions, gestures of conductors by BOA and Oster 1994, Hartin 2000, Kilpatrick 3 2021, etc., provides an empirical basis for analyzing the key elements of emotional transmission in non-schematic conducting, such as the influence of visual signals on the chorus. Specific scene correlations. Nepos et.al. 2013 focused on the influence of the facial expressions and gestures of chorus conductors on the expressiveness of the ensemble, directly echoing the core variable of emotional influence in the project. Leib's 1993 experiment on the influence of expressive conducting on performance quality can be analogized to the role of body language in non-schematic conducting on the sound unity and emotional expression of the chorus. Bloody Parts provides a reference for identifying the core conveying carriers such as the face and gestures in non-schematic conducting. Next is the selection and basis of the methodology. This research will adopt the mixed research method, combining digital audio spectrum analysis and questionnaire. There are 3 reasons for choosing the mixed research method. 1. Multidimensional analysis needs. Sound impact requires quantitative data such as pitch, volume, and fusion through digital audio analysis, while emotional impact relies on questionnaires to capture qualitative data such as subjective experience and emotional perception of choir members. 2. Complementary advantages of methods. Quantitative research audio analysis can objectively verify the causal effect of conducting methods on sound parameters, and qualitative research questionnaires can deeply explain the internal mechanism of emotional transmission, making up for the limitations of a single method in explaining how to influence. 3. Complex problem adaptation. Non-graphic conducting involves the interaction between non-verbal behavior, gestures, eye contact, and musical performance. Mixed research uses statistical verification of quantitative data and contextual description of qualitative data. The following is my preliminary research design. First of all, the preliminary research objective of this project is to use the mixed method combining digital audio analysis and questionnaires to explore the influence and mechanism of the non-schematic conducting method on the sound precision integration degree of the chorus, as well as the emotional investment and collaborative perception of the chorus members. By recruiting volunteers to participate in the chorus, after practice, conduct with two different conducting methods, record on site to obtain digital audio, and distribute questionnaires after the end. In this way, experimental data can be obtained. This is the tool and timeline used in this project. Next is the preliminary research implementation. Key implementation steps. 1. Design posters and release volunteer recruitment information through social media. 2. Distribute questionnaires with basic information. 3. Conduct on-site practice and record audio and video. 4. Distribute questionnaires comparing the conducting methods. 5. Collect questionnaires and compare digital audio. 6. Draw conclusions. All participating volunteers have been informed of the purpose of this experiment and that audio and video recording will be carried out throughout the process before participating and have signed the informed consent form. All participants have been anonymized when marking the experimental data. All experimental data will be stored in Baidu NetDisk and will only be used for experimental research and will not be leaked. The following is the result and analysis. On the left is the audio spectrum of the same sentence under different conducting methods. The spectrum can be analyzed by brightness, width, affective range, etc. The brighter the sound, the more concentrated it is. The longer the affective range, the more stable the sound. The lines can judge the pitch, and there are frequencies corresponding to different pitches on the right. By comparing the two spectra, it can be found that when the non-graphic conducting method is used, the spectrum is more stable and the sound is more concentrated. Under the graphical conducting method, the rhythm displayed by the spectrum is more stable. On the right is the questionnaires. Through the questionnaires received, it was found that 80% of the samples felt that the non-graphic conducting method can better drive the emotions of the choir. 60% of the samples felt that the rhythm of the graphical conducting method is more stable. Only 30% of the samples felt that the conductors on both sides had changed, and 90% of the samples preferred the second performance. To ensure the validity of the questionnaire, the samples were not informed of the difference between the two conducting methods. Only the first performance and the second performance were distinguished. Through preliminary research, I found that when using the schematic conducting, the speed and rhythm of the chorus will be more stable. When using the non-schematic conducting, the emotion of the chorus is richer and the rhythm is freer. Below are clips of two different command methods. You can listen to the difference The conclusion of the preliminary findings can basically confirm that the non-schematic conducting will affect the emotion and sound of the chorus. This preliminary study has the following limitations. 1. Limitations of experimental samples. The volunteers in this study are master's and doctoral students from the National University of Singapore and postgraduate students majoring in music from the Singapore Raffles Music College, aged between 24 and 30. Their musical perception is generally stronger than that of the general population, so their results lack universality. 2. Limitations of experimental frequency. Due to funding and time constraints, this preliminary experiment was only conducted once, so the conclusions drawn are incomplete. 3. Limitations of sound capture tools. Due to limited experimental funding, the sound capture tools used were video recorders and mobile phones, which did not meet professional recording standards. The recorded sound could not be completely restored, which may have affected the experimental results. 4. Limitations of the experimental site. The experiment was conducted in a small studio rather than a recording studio. The recorded sound may have been interfered with by external factors, and there may have been some high and low frequency noise and reverberation which may have impacted the experimental results. The above are also the aspects that need to be improved in future experiments. Next is the inspiration, the future direction. In the subsequent research, I need to continue to expand the data sources and subdivide professional choruses and non-professional choruses. This research may provide a reliable experimental method for subsequent related research and promote the development of the chorus conducting major. The following is my reference. Thank you for listening.